Guys, and welcome to my channel, the Namfumu Diaries. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Tinashe, the Namfumu, and if you're a regular here, welcome back. So I'm a young woman who makes YouTube videos, and today I thought about doing a story time. So have you guys ever heard the saying, men will embarrass you? Wow, this one today is one of those very embarrassing situations. And I can laugh about it now because I'm over it. But in the moment, I think it was one of the most painful things. And I don't know why it feels humiliating when you go through these situations, but it was very painful. So now let's... I'm dating this guy, and me, I'm in a relationship that I think this is the person I'm probably gonna settle down with. And we did have a good relationship, we were good friends, and you know, at the time that a lot of this stuff happened, we were even in a good place. So I thought, this is the story of when I found out my boyfriend was single. And just to clarify this, I was in a relationship with this person and I thought he was in a relationship with me. Then I found out he's single. And this is how I found remember out. This, I'm going to start this at the point where it seems so weird, but I remember having a dream. And I was taking a nap, like one of those things where I took a nap and it was in the afternoon. And I just remember waking up, or before I woke up, hearing this girl's name in my mind. Very clear as day. This is a girl I never knew about, but the name was clear. And in that dream, it was sort of telling me that this person was going to become a part of my life. And after she did, my relationship with my then boyfriend, my ex, would never be the same again. And that's exactly what happened. So that name just popped in my head. And when I woke up, I was very confused. And I think what woke me up is said boyfriend calling me. And I think we spoke. And I remember feeling very unsettled. And I think I'm one of those people who has dreams that sometimes, foreshadow things. So anyway, that I think is a story for another day. So he calls me and we talk and I'm feeling very unsettled. So I sort of forget about this. And it moves on. So I think the first time I noticed this person in my life was, I remember the time my ex had picked me up and I think he was on the phone. So I'm like, oh cool, who are you talking to? He's like, oh no, I recently reconnected with a family friend from my childhood. I met her at the shops and we exchanged numbers. I'm like, oh cool, that's nice. Another time, I think I find them on the phone. It's like, oh, who's that? Oh, that chick I told you about. I'm like, oh, cool. And then I noticed, like, other times when we're hanging out, she's calling a lot. Like, she used to call a lot. And it was just one of those situations where it's just like, So then I took notice. So then I had a conversation with him. And it's like, don't you think this is a little bit overboard and stuff? And he was like, yeah, you know what? Even I noticed. So I was like, you know what? Just put this situation in check. And he was like, cool. And he had put the situation in check. So I thought. So afterwards, I noticed she's not calling as much and me thinking, no, the situation had been handled. And then what happened was, this one day, we're having a phone conversation. And then he says, my baby cousin is calling me. Let me call. I was like, isn't she in boarding school? Like, how is she calling? He's like, yeah, let me just see what she wants. So he calls. And then 30 minutes later, he hasn't called back. And I'm just like, And we're having one of those conversations where, I expected him to call right back. So 30 minutes later, he hasn't called. 45, then I call. I'm like, dude, no, in fact, I didn't even get through to him. I just noticed my phone was on call waiting the whole time. I kept trying to call him, and I think it was on 2 hours. This call was not ending. It was on call waiting. And in fact, I think he told me it was his baby cousin after the call, because I think he had told me he needed to take the call. 2 hours later, so I'm like, oh, your baby cousin. Okay. Took note of the date and the time and all of that stuff. Later, I take note of this, and I just find that he's acting weird. And you know, when you're in sync with someone, I just started to notice he was acting weird. He would be asking me these questions and stuff. And then I'm one of those people. I personally believe in giving people their privacy. If you are in a relationship with me, I'm not the girl that is going to be checking your phone 24/7, wanting to do what you're doing. Have your privacy. However, I do believe that if you're in a relationship with someone, there is no such thing as you're not going to have access to my phone. To me, I cannot fathom that concept. I'm not going to be going through your phone. But if I want to check your phone, there should be no problem. And also, there should be nothing to find. So, anyway, all of a sudden, this was a very open concept in the relationship. I think I must have been making a call on his phone. And then there's something that made me realize that he was deleting his calls. And I'm not going to give you the hack, because some of you that want to be deleting your calls, but I noticed. And so I asked him, it didn't mean you were going to start hiding the calls from me, or you were actually going to handle it. And he tried to deny it at first. Then he gives into it, and he says it's going to be handled and blah, 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 blah. Bear in mind, I dated mans for a long time. So it was one of those things where like I don't have secrets. So he could legit come onto my phone, and he liked to look at my Facebook newsfeed, because he always said it was more exciting than his. And I remember for some reason, I think there was a time he had logged into my phone to use my phone, and so it had the login details had stayed in my phone. So curiosity, which is also a bad thing, and I was much younger than I am today. I go to the Facebook profile, realize he's changed his password. And I'm just like, why are we changing passwords? He tries to do this thing that the other gender does sometimes, of deflecting, flipping it on me. Gave me a flimsy reason as to why he had changed his password. And I was just like, you know what? These are things I'm not even going to fight. But the day is going to come. So this one time, I think I'd asked him like once or twice after that. Then this one day, something just snapped. And I asked him, could you log into my computer and with your Facebook credentials? And he throws a fit, unnecessary. I'm just like, oh, okay, that's fine. Are you going to log into the computer? No, I've put my foot down. What? Just like, okay, that's nice. I'm going to bed. You can do what you want. You can let yourself out when you're ready. So he comes. He's like, how I've come to visit you, you're going to sleep. It's like, I've asked you. Log in, you don't want to. If there's nothing you are hiding, I don't understand why you are so against this whole logging in. I don't understand. So I'm going to sleep because I do not have the energy to deal with this, and I'd rather fall asleep. So man's now after a time realizes, okay, this is the side of her I don't want to mess with. Now puts their password in, but tries and flips it on me and whatever. So I get the computer and I go back into the living room and I start to read this conversation. You guys, my heart broke. My heart broke. So in that thread of messages, I found, first of all, there would be conversations they would ask. So she would ask him like these interesting questions. He would come and ask me those same questions. Like, it's like almost they were like these duplicated conversations. Then it came to, are you single? He said, though there was my ex, we were still on and off. Bear in mind, this relationship at this point is good. We're on and off, and yeah. So the girl asked him, like, what's the reason? And she's like, she's been trying to push me to get married, and I don't want to get married. And then the girl is like, but listen, at a certain age, girls want to settle down. So it's like, it's not even that. It's not that I don't want to settle down with her. It's like she wants to get married for the wrong reasons. she wants a wedding that she can put on Facebook. She wants to get married for the wrong reasons. And I was just like, oh my God. And the thing is, him and I had a conversation. And I told him, based on how our lives are, based on just everything, please don't even propose to me because I'm going to say no. I'm not ready to be married. And one thing he also knew, and anyone who knows me, is I'm very private about my intimate moments. So I'm the type of person who you only probably know that I'm married because maybe I would attach my husband's surname to my Facebook and maybe post a video, like maybe, or not a video, post a picture, like much later. I'm not the type of person that regularly updates my social media for people. Like you really, if you're trying to know what's going on in my life, my social media is not the place. So what he was saying about me and the reality were not matching. It was like very inconsistent. So he was painting this girl that maybe, and you know, it also got me thinking, maybe I'm not his girlfriend. Like I thought he was his girlfriend. So anyway, basically, that I read further down the conversation, and then he's just telling this girl how he's single and, you know, basically hitting on her. And meanwhile, this guy is my boyfriend, and I know that. My relationship status is in a relationship, and in a relationship with Shanchaniuko. Meanwhile, Shanchaniuko doesn't have a girlfriend. Guys, it was so heartbreaking. And even just narrating this story right now, I'm laughing because it's like, that's what broke your heart. But it was such a painful thing. And after that, I was just like, okay, it's like you want to be single, no problem. So I blocked him. I stopped talking to him. So as these people usually do, and also when you're allowing a man to embarrass you, eventually he starts talking to me. I let him back in my life. He apologizes. Eventually we get back together. And it's one of those things that I told him, listen, if you want to be with sis, go and be with sis. I have no problem. But if you're going to be here, I have certain expectations. And he says no. And he even writes a message. And he sends the message telling her how they were going to discontinue the friendship and blah, blah, blah. So like, I think 2 weeks later. So anyway, he starts performing and stuff like that. And then I'm like, you it's like you're looking for an excuse. So then I think this is a weekend. We're sitting on the balcony of my flat and we are chatting. And then I don't know. And this is the thing is, I'm not the type of person who will go through your phone. But when my instincts and my intuition is so strong, tells me a message popped up and he didn't want to open it or something on, I think, Facebook Messenger again. I don't know what it is about him and Facebook Messenger and this girl. And then there's a conversation. So I'm just like, but I thought you guys were not talking anymore. What happened? So then, reading the conversation, the girl is like, she reaches out to him. And then she's like, no, I've missed you, but I didn't want to talk to you because I was scared because you told me madam. Then he's like, no, after all, that's not even my heart. I'm not the one who sent the message. I was like, you guys. I was just like, I'm done. That is when I was done. I left the balcony and just went to my room. And I just lay on my bed because I was just like, I can't. Like, where are we going like this, in this type of situation? And it was one of those things where it's like, look, you clearly, there's a connection between you and this person. And it's like you failed to shake it off. So what I will do personally, because I will not be in an Impali situation. If you've never watched the series Impali, or I will not be in a polygamous situation. You just do you. I'm exiting from this equation. And as usual, they start begging. But it's like, but you wanted to do this. So guys, that is my situation of how I found out my boyfriend was single. And also I forgot like to my other things. Like, you know, they keep coming because like I remember it was his birthday. And we had made plans. I think we were meant to go to dinner. Then all of a sudden, we had made plans. Your friends know we made plans. He now all of a sudden has this surprise boy's bride. And then he comes back. He comes hours later. And it was like, You know, me, when I get to a point where I block you, it's like things consecutively piling up, and it's like, I don't think you know what you're dealing with. So it was like there was a bunch of little things, and I think it was that particular birthday. To this day, I don't know if they spent it together. I really don't know. But it was just one of those situations. And this, as the saying goes, you guys, men will embarrass you. Love your man in private. And it was I think that is when I learned, because I deleted all the pictures, like literally. No, in fact, I deleted them when I found out. I deleted them when I found that he was single. That's when I did. I'm like, I can't be here masquerading myself. You're killing my market. Meanwhile, you are single. I deleted all the pictures. And from there, I learned, I don't know what it's going to take to have a man on my social media. I really do not know. But that, in a nutshell, is my story of how I found out my boyfriend was single. If you've had one of those men will embarrass you situations, please comment in the comment section and let's get chatting. Maybe I'll do a video of me reading out the stories and the encounters you've had. But don't let a man embarrass you. This particular encounter is trust your intuition. I think right from the time I had the dream and whatever, like my intuition was speaking to me, and always let your resolve be stronger than your feelings. Like, your feelings will catch up. It was one of those circumstances where from the time I found out this person was single, that relationship should not have continued. So it's one of those things. Let's learn from our mistakes. Sometimes people will embarrass you because they have shown you that they're embarrassing creatures, but you choose to not let them go and cut them out. So the embarrassment will continue. So I think another thing that I've learned, and I think this is an opinion I'll continue to hold. People will tell you don't go through your partner's phone because whatever you find is going to be your own fault. I'm a strong believer of you can only find things which are there. Like, at the same time, if my partner had gone through my phone and he would consistently go through my phone, there was nothing to find. Not because I was consistently deleting, but for me, I believe, and I think Lusaka is the wrong place to hold these beliefs. I think you should, if you're going to tell someone you are faithful, be faithful. Let's not pretend to be faithful and then be fronting. Don't pretend to be faithful when you're not. I think that's a view that I hold. And this whole thing of don't go through, because what you're going to find, there should be nothing to be found to begin with. I really do not believe, I don't understand how, especially in a relationship where people are married or people are sexual, but you're sharing each other's bodies, you are possibly passing on diseases, but phones are off limit. Like, to me, it just does not make sense. And sexual or not, it's just one of those things where, yes, people are entitled to their privacy, but if you have nothing to hide, why? I think there's a difference between being entitled to privacy and being secretive. There's a difference. And like I say, I'm not the type of person, like, I'll go through your phone once in a year, but if I did, it was for a reason. And also sometimes it's you just find yourselves in situations where something pops up. Like, I'm not the type of person, I don't have the time to police people's children. I believe people should be self-policed. But this view of don't go through each other's phones because what you will find is and yes, there are times where there are conversations that you will not be able to understand the context, and you might take it out of context and feel offended. And I can understand those situations, but there's those clear situations where someone is just having conversations that are inappropriate. And to me, the biggest test is, if this was flipped, would I be okay with the type of interaction my partner is having with this person? I think that's the first thing you must pay attention to. I think that was my lesson, and I hope this helps you. And yeah, let's laugh together about the embarrassing situations we've had and we've grown from. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this video. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget your comments, and see you in my next video.